Good afternoon, everyone. We're here today to do the operations briefing for April 22nd, 2026. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over. This is David Seacrest with the Florida Forest Service.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming out today. David Seacrest, and I'm one of the incident commanders with the railroad fire. Just wanted to give you a quick operational update. The fire is at 4,186 acres, 55% contained, and we continue to build on our fire lines with heavy equipment. We're preparing basically for our evening winds. Okay, the weather as the day progresses. What it's shown us is in the evening it gets kind of sporty. So we're continuing to build on our fire lines and prepare for the evening weather. And also, yesterday there was new starts in the surrounding areas, new fires in other counties and stuff. And we're now strategically kind of sharing resources, making sure we have enough resources, and then we're sharing resources with other fires in the area. So we're looking ahead. I think we're in really good shape. We're going to continue to use our air resources, which are our scoopers, we're just going to continue to hang on to this thing. Things are looking really good. I want to thank all my cooperators, all the cooperators back here. We've been all working together really, really well, and that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Lauren Mock, I'm the fire chief for Clay County Fire Rescue. We have remained in support of our forestry partners for the last few days. We are utilizing assets both within Clay County and also Putnam County because the fire stretches across the line now. We're primarily concerned with structural protection. We've been monitoring the fire lines along with our forestry partners to ensure that no structures are threatened. If we get spot fires near them, we are deploying assets immediately, and we're going to remain in that posture through the immediate time frame. What I would ask of all of our residents is to please observe the burn ban. We've deployed a lot of assets on both Putnam County and Clay County in support of this, and it is essential that we don't get new starts. The weather conditions are obviously pretty dicey, and I'll let the Weather Service speak to that, but we want to ensure that no new starts are taking place. There's no good reason to have an intentional fire start right now. And we're hoping our residents abide by that. We will deal later on with accidental starts, either from lightning, which we hope we get when some storms form, but those are accidental, and any accidental nature where you have chains dragging along the road or things like that we'll attempt to deal with. But in the meantime, we want to maintain the fire lines, work in the black with our forestry partners, and ensure that we can maintain control of the fire. So I'll turn it over to the Sheriff's Office representative and let him address both evacuations and periodic road closures.
Good afternoon, Chief Jeff Johnson, Clay County Sheriff's Office. Two critical speaking points. One, if you're looking for up-to-date information, please download our Safer Watch app. I can't applaud our press people enough. They're pushing out a lot of information on that, so that's where you're going to get your most accurate information. Secondly, as you can still tell, there's a lot of smoke in the area. I ask people on the highways to please use caution. You're going to come into some areas that have heavy smoke. I'm concerned about the safety of the driver as well as our public safety officials working in the area. If you do see a fire truck or a police car or personnel, slow down, give them some room, and allow them to operate. At this time, I don't have any evacuations or road closures to announce. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Angie Agnetti with the National Weather Service. I'm the warning coordination meteorologist for the Weather Service office here in Jacksonville. The Weather Service is one of those partner agencies behind the scenes. We help support the incident command and boots on the ground with fire weather forecasts. So we've been providing that throughout this event. In terms of the near-term weather conditions, we are expecting to continue to have what we deem elevated fire danger for the incident, and actually outside the incident as well. As you heard from previous briefers, there are fires that have blossomed throughout our community, so that elevated fire danger will continue across southeast Georgia and northeast Florida as well for the railroad incident here, at least through the weekend. So What we typically see is that smoke laying out across the community during the early morning hours. That's just because the wind settles down at night, so that smoke is able to pool. So for our communities going over the next few nights, that smoke will continue to be most hazardous overnight into the early morning hours. Then, as we go into the late morning, the winds begin to pick up and that smoke begins to lift and disperse. But by the time that occurs, that's when the fire activity could get sporty, as we've heard, because the winds begin to increase and the atmosphere dries out. So each afternoon over the next several days, we'll continue to monitor for those elevated fire danger conditions and keep the boots on the ground briefed of those. For the community, I did want to provide a resource to monitor air quality from smoke impacts, and that resource is airnow.gov. airnow.gov. You can type in your specific address and then get the air quality for your local area. So you're able to monitor if the air becomes hazardous for those that are sensitive to poor air quality. Thanks so much, and now we're transitioning over to emergency management.
Thank you. Timothy Devon, Emergency Management Director here in Clay County. So I want to thank the public for their overwhelming support that we've been receiving. We're continually receiving donations at the Clay County Fairgrounds, at the Cattlemen's Arena. The times for that are from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. So remember, prepackaged snacks, bottled water that is sealed. Now, an add to that, we've had several businesses reach out that want to support meals for the first responders. Please utilize our call center so that we can track that appropriately to make sure that we're not duplicating the effort when it comes to delivering meals to this particular location. So our call center is set up from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. However, that line is monitored 24 hours a day. That is our emergency disaster line, which is 1-877-CLAY EOC. Again, that is 1-877-CLAY EOC. I also want to thank all of our partners. We respond to this event just like we do for any hurricane, the fair, or any other disaster. We have a unified command that's set up between Forestry, Clay County Fire Rescue Department, Clay County Sheriff's Office, and Clay County Emergency Management. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes behind me to help support the first responders that are out there. Remember also, we do have a shelter, a host shelter that's set up at Shiloh Baptist. We've not had a lot of people take advantage of that, but it is set up in case we do need that. They are coordinating with Animal Care and Control and Ag Department in case we have any large animals or other pets that we need to take care of as well. As I said yesterday, ensure you have a plan. If you're given 5 minutes to evacuate because there's a shift in the wind, what are you going to take with you quickly? So make sure you have that ahead of time and know what you're going to do. As always, make sure you're signed up for Safer Watch. Make sure you're signed up on our website, alert.claycountygov.com. Any evacuations that we push out will be pushed out on those two platforms, as well as our Facebook, our other social media sources, as well as the media that's here today. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to the forestry PIOs to entertain any questions. So thank you.
At this time, we'll go ahead for questions.
Can you explain what 55% means? Does that mean there's a 55% of a circle of a fire line, or what does 55% mean? And can that go up or down?
Yeah, so good question. So when we look at containment, 55%, that's you can use a circle. The fire's not a circle, but yeah, so 55% of that we feel like we have a hard containment line. We still monitor it, but the fire doesn't really have an opportunity to get out. So as we progress with our lines and building that containment on the fire, that number will go up. So typically it does not go down. We like to keep it on the upward momentum. But does that answer your question?
Yeah. Is there a steady supply of water? I'm assuming, is it all coming from the river because there is a drought? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so the scoopers, they're working out so well for us because the turnaround time is like super quick because of the St. Johns River. Now, as far as the fire department and the water resources they're getting, I don't think that's coming from the river. That's coming from actually the fire.
They're set up literally right across the way. You'll see them.
Exactly.
And Chief Mock, there's enough water for your needs or whatever it is you need to put out flames?
Yeah, we've identified locations that are survivable inside the most extreme drought, 50 years plus, and so that's where our units go to for those water points to pick up. So we've been pretty consistent with being able to get water out of those retention areas.
Chief, we also heard from some homeowners who have had fire trucks literally parked on their property overnight. Can you talk to me about that dynamic?
Well, I think that's where we have the greatest risk. That's where we're setting up to ensure that if we get a breakout, we're there monitoring and we can stop any forward progression of a fire that gets outside of line.
We went to 5% containment, I think,
Yeah,
Monday to 50 Tuesday, and
Yeah.
now we're at 55 Wednesday. Is progress slowing, or is that pretty typical? You get up to 50% quickly, and then it kind of takes a little bit longer to keep going?
Yeah, good question. So basically, yeah, that's kind of how it goes. So the fire breaks out, the fire makes a run. Okay, it progresses pretty erratically, and then we get all the resources in, and we start kind of coming around it and basically flanking the fire. So we try to come up the flanks, the sides of the fire. So yeah, you jump up in containment pretty quickly, but then it just takes time after that. So it's a normal process, and then you add to where this fire progressed and what it burnt into. I mean, it's in a base swamp, so that makes it really difficult because getting heavy equipment into a swampy area is not likely. We're not gonna be able to do that. So that's another piece of it and why containment is slowly going up now. How does the swamp burn? So the swamp, it either burns really, really hot and it gets really, really active, or it just kind of skunks around. So as the day progresses, it heats up, the humidities drop, winds pick up. That's when we see the fire get most active within the swamps. Now, throughout the evening time, throughout nighttime, the fire's still in there. It's just kind of skunking around. It's not real active, but we can't, other than just dumping water on it, things like that, and that's not going to put it out. We're kind of letting it burn and letting it come to our containment lines.
What's the biggest challenge you have going into tonight as far as the remaining 45%?
The biggest, just having the fire, just the fire that's in the swamp is just going to take time. It's gonna come out when it's going to come out. So we're in a little bit of a waiting game there with the fire inside the swamp. So we continue to just prepare for it and look at the weather, not just today, tomorrow, the next day, and where we think if this fire decides to get active, which direction it's going to go, and we're focused on those areas. So when it does do that, we're prepared and we can stop it.
And David, I was going to add to residents. This is, and I said this the other day, this is a long-term fight. The ground is organic material. That means it burns. The literal ground burns. And it's going to take a long time for that to cool. It may be weeks, it could be months that we're dealing with this. So the smoke conditions or the potential risk that a fire could come up out of the ground and spread well beyond our lines is all a realistic possibility and may occur over that time. So this is not a short-term fix. We will be doing this in some manner or form for weeks, and I need to set those expectations. They're also going to deal with the smoke conditions for a long period of time. And so this is going to be something that we're all going to deal with for a long period of time.
Go ahead.
Are there any homes or businesses in immediate danger from the contained fire?
No, I wouldn't say immediate danger. We're looking ahead. Like I said, we're watching the weather. We're looking ahead. Our partners, the fire department. One of you had asked a question about parking a fire truck in somebody's yard. That's kind of what we're doing. We're looking ahead that if and when the fire does run towards those residents, that we're prepared to defend them. So we're just kind of looking ahead and being as prepared as we can be.
Director Guthrie made a point maybe on Monday where he talked about, unlike in 1998, we have a lot more technology to help kind of predict where the fire is going to go, how it's going to move. I'm not sure who wants to take it, but if somebody could maybe expand on what you guys are looking at, what tools you have available to sort of predict the future in terms of where's the fire going to be a day from now, an hour from now, whatever.
That's a really good question. I'm going to hand it over to Angie. She can probably speak on that because technology is amazing and it's rapidly growing.
Yeah, so I think most of us know fire's pretty darn sensitive to wind, and forecasting has a lot of advances since where we were in 1998. We have a lot of high resolution models that we look at. We've been briefing the teams here on what the smoke is going to look like over the next couple days. So I think in terms of just weather forecast modeling, it has just gotten so much better. But you still need folks to interpret those models and be able to convey it in terms that the first responders can understand and react to. So I think the modeling has gotten a lot better. I think there's also been a recognition that the fire behavior analysts, which are part of the Forest Service, they've definitely come into play to help model what, given that weather parameter and given the environment that the fire is in, what could that fire do? Is it going to make a fast run, or is it going to skunk around and smolder in the swamp? So there's just been a lot of advancements in modeling, both on the weather side, but also on the fire behavior side.
Is there anything folks can do?
Last question.
Is there anything folks can do in their cars or in their homes to protect themselves from any air quality issues? I mean, is there AC settings they should be doing, or anything like that?
Anybody want to speak to that one? No, for AC in your car, you can actually close the vent and just recirculate the air within your car. You can also do that in some businesses in your home as well, like prevent outside air from circulating in. Keeping windows and doors closed as much as possible to minimize that smoke coming into your structure would also be helpful.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Could we have everyone spell their names to kind of
Sure.
wrap it up, just so we get them right?
Yep.
Yeah.
David, do it first.
Okay, David, D-A-V-I-D, Sechrist, S-E-C-H-R-I-S-T. Thank you, folks. Yep. Florida Forest Service.
And I'm Lorin, L-O-R-I-N, Mock, M-O-C-K. I'm the fire chief for Clay County Fire Rescue.
Chief Jeff Johnson, J-E-F-F, and J-O-H-N-S-O-N, and with Clay County Sheriff's Office.
Weather.
Angie and Yeti, National Weather Service, Jacksonville, A-N-G-I-E-E-N-Y-E-D-I.
And EOC.
Timothy Devon, Director of Clay County Emergency Management. That's T-I-M-O-T-H-Y. Last name is Devon, D-E-V as in Victor, I-N. Devon. Thank you.
Thank you guys.